Well, guys, it's Pokemon time. As you're all already well aware, I love Pokemon. I love the anime, I love the games, I even love the freaking card game, which isn't all that good in my opinion, but Pokemon has honestly been a big part of my life for the longest. And you know what? I think it's about time I give a little celebration to Pokemon outside of just me playing games. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to review every single Pokemon movie, but I'll release them in order of when they came out. So there are going to be some exceptions to this list. Like number one, I'm not going to review the Mewtwo Returns special, because that's a special. That was a 2-part episode special meant to showcase the new animation style that the Pokemon anime would be going through, coming from the end of Johto Journeys into the Johto League Champions. Yeah. So the transition between Season 3 and Season 4. Next up, on the chopping block of not being included, I'm not counting any of the Pikachu shorts. Not counting any of those. As well as I am not counting Detective Pikachu, because that movie just came out and I haven't seen it yet. And on the topic of haven't seen yet, I will not be including The Power of Us in this review section, mostly because I haven't seen it. Once I reviewed all the Pokemon movies, I will do my top 5 best and top 5 worst Pokemon movies. But that'll come once I'm done reviewing Pokemon movies 1 all the way up to Pokemon movie 20, I believe. Yeah, Pokemon movie 20. I choose you. There we go. Orio's here also trying to chillax. So with that being said, I believe we should get started with the very first Pokemon movie, Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back. So Pokemon the first movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back, stars the legendary Pokemon Mewtwo, wherein we find out he's a clone of the original Pokemon Mew, as you see on the right here. I'll be using the movie posters for my visuals, because I can't freaking edit worth a damn. But the main point of it is, when Mewtwo is created, he's automatically hating humans. This is a terrible summary. Like, Jesus Christ, this is a terrible summary. Upon coming into the real world, Mewtwo instinctively begins hating humans, not only because of the fact that when he was in his tank, he met this clone of a human girl named Amber, and 3 clones of the starters for that generation, for Generation 1, but also he had to watch them all die right in front of him because he was the only clone to be successful. Already he's off to a bad start, and then when he finally comes into the real world and meets the humanity for the first time outside of Amber, he's greeted with nothing but scientists who want to use him just for experiments. Upon rejecting his initial purpose, he not only murders everyone on that island, but he strikes a deal with Giovanni. He strikes a deal with the boss of Team Rocket, Giovanni. Giovanni then manages to train Mewtwo into learning how to control his psychic powers. From there on, Mewtwo becomes an unstoppable machine. We'll even see him cameo in the anime where he destroys Gary motherfucking Oak. However, after Giovanni stupidly reveals to Mewtwo that he's only been using him as a tool, Mewtwo immediately destroys the facility that Giovanni was keeping him in. From there on out, Mewtwo leaves the facility and heads back to the island where he was created. From there on, he vows to eliminate all of humanity. We meet up with Ash and friends, who then are invited to a tournament of sorts. From there on out, Mewtwo manages to create weather phenomenon to test any worthy trainers that he deems as powerful enough to be worth his time. Of course, Ash and Co. make it to the island. From there, they encounter Mewtwo. Of course, everyone's in disbelief, with the first comment being a Pokemon can't be a Pokemon master. From there on, Mewtwo manages to just annihilate everyone. And when Ash challenges him to a battle, Mewtwo cockily replies with sending out the evolved forms of the starters he met back when he was in the chamber. From there on out, it's just a drag-out brawl between clones and real Pokemon, and it all comes to a head when after he cloned everyone's Pokemon that was there, the original Pokemon and the clone Pokemon come to a battle after having their powers suppressed. The battle onward was brutal, and honestly the brutal is the right word, because I can't think of another word for that. It's just brutality that you see going on in the battle. Well, yes, it is still a kid's film, so you're not going to see any blood or stuff like you would see in the Electric Tales of Pikachu manga between the Charizard fight between Ash and Richie. However, this is battling we've never seen in the actual show itself, nor will we really ever see again later on in the series in terms of brutality when it comes to them fighting. Mostly due to the fact their abilities have been repressed by Mewtwo. In the end, Ash manages to sacrifice himself to save not only all the Pokemon that were fighting, but also stop the fight between Mew and Mewtwo, in which Mew had arrived earlier in the film to combat Mewtwo. Ash is then revived with the Tears of Life from all the Pokemon who cried for him. Mewtwo then wipes out everyone's memories with a heavy message of, it doesn't matter where you're born, what it matters is what you do that counts. Ash and Co leave, with Mewtwo leaving with his clones from there on out. Positives. So positives for the film, it's honestly a great introduction to having a Pokemon movie. It wastes no time getting to when we're introducing Mewtwo and getting to understand why he's doing this, who he is. Honestly, he's the best Pokemon antagonist. Now, let me make this clear. I mean the best antagonist that's a Pokemon. That's a Pokemon. In terms of being the best antagonist throughout the series, we won't see that until Pokemon 3. But I'll get into that when we get to that review. Now, for Mewtwo, we see his whole ideal is just, he hates the idea of being used as nothing. Which, honestly, the idea of having the most powerful Pokemon in the world reject humanity is something that's horrifying, and it ties back into the notebooks we'll see in Cinnabar Island. The animation's gorgeous for the time. It's really well executed, and the stylized choices are amazing. Now for the negatives. Negatives, I can say, Mew is honestly, while seen to be really powerful, honestly it doesn't seem like he poses any real threat to Mewtwo, since Mewtwo's got him on the back burner the whole time. The Tears of Life gimmick has always irritated me. While it was sad the first time I saw Ash die as a kid, afterwards it kind of irritated me that that's how they bring him back. Although it's not nearly as infuriating as the death in I Choose You. We'll get to that when we get there. But honestly, it was nice. Another downside is Team Rocket. I don't like Team Rocket showing up in these movies, with the exception of Pokemon Lucario and the Mystery of Mew, and their role in Pokemon Forever. Otherwise, they're just unnecessary additions to the film. Except for Meowth, who manages to provide some helpful commentary, so at least there's that. Overall, I give this movie an easy 9 out of 10. This was a great Pokemon film and a great movie in general, for young and old alike. What stops this movie from being a 10 is, once again, Team Rocket's inclusion and the fact that Mew is honestly a little annoying, and the Tears of Life bit do bring the film down a bit. However, it's a great film and a great introduction for Pokemon fans and non-Pokemon fans who want to get into the franchise. That's about all I gotta say for this film. It was a really solid film. I had a great time, and I enjoyed the fact that this was the first Pokemon movie I ever saw.